from New Hampshire. This is Cindy, and this is my morning car chat. I'm headed off to school. It is Tuesday. Oh, today is May 20th. Today's my granddaughter's birthday. She is 12. So, happy birthday to my granddaughter. And we're headed to school, and we did dinner with their family, and we had ice cream. Wow. It was interesting. They live in Massachusetts and they told us about this really great ice cream place, which my kids work at an ice cream shop in my town. So we're always going down there getting ice cream. And it's Richardson's ice cream, which is pretty good around here. Um, and so we went down to where they live and we thought, okay, let's go to ice cream with them. So we're riding along. Of course, I'm riding, not driving. And it was very country, very country. I can't remember the name of the town that the ice cream shop was in, but we're driving along and it was dark by then. It was kind of late because they had a ballet recital, and so we were driving along, and all of a sudden, we came upon the ice cream shop. And I mean, there were so many cars. It was like probably 100 cars in the ice cream parking lot. And then there were like three or four, maybe, people scooping ice cream, and the lines were so long. So it was a little weird to go from my tiny town where you can get ice cream, you just go at the end and you hardly need to stand in line and you get ice cream to drive all the way down there to Massachusetts, stand in line for like at least a half an hour. And then, yeah, it was pretty crazy. But we had a good family night out. It was really fun. And oh, this is the funniest thing. So the girls had a ballet recital or practice, and then their friend, who is their nanny kind of thing, she brought them to the ice cream place. And so we waited in line, and we were just about done with our ice cream cones, and we're thinking about it's time to go. And we're sort of wrapping things up. And all of a sudden, on the field across the way, there were fireworks. So I just turned to my daughter and my granddaughter. I'm like, we just thought we would do something a little different and special for your birthday. And here you go. You got some fireworks. And it was kind of just a joke, but I guess my granddaughter thought it was for real. And then it was kind of short. Like it was, maybe 4 or 5 pop-ups that were really cool. And then it was over. And I said, well, that was all we could afford. So it was really funny. So she got ice cream and fireworks on Saturday night for her birthday, and it was fun. Or no, I think it was Friday night. So that was good. It worked out perfectly. And so 4 birthdays this year, or these days. I have 13 kids, and they're all around everywhere. I have, like, obviously adult children that live in other parts of the country, and I can't celebrate with them. So, since I have a job and I have a little bit of money, I decided I would send them gifts from Amazon. So, I send Amazon gifts so that, they get something special for their birthday. And sometimes it's something I know they want, or sometimes it's something that I pick that I think would work for them. And so that's what I've been doing. Well, one time, a couple years ago, I accidentally put love Mon, Mon, instead of mom. I like do the happy birthday greeting. And so it's kind of a joke now that my name is Mon. So they'll be like, I got this gift from Mon, and they'll share it on our family group chat. So Mon sent my daughter, who her birthday was May 14th, I sent her a gift, and I sent my granddaughter a gift also. Hopefully, I haven't heard if she got it. I hope she got it and she likes it. So yeah, I tried it. pick something that is meaningful. And I just figured that I was going to the store and just because nothing really jumped out. So now with Amazon, and then, oh yeah, then you have to package it up, then you have to mail it. So just sending something in the mail costs. Kelly for watching. I appreciate it. Kelly is my teacher friend, and we met online actually through a company called VIP Kid. Then we taught for Outschool.com, and a lot of the teachers, we were trying to make a career forever. Like VIP Kid, I wanted that to be my retirement program. Like I can stay home and do that even when I'm older, even if I couldn't drive, because you can do it from home. But they changed everything around, and then I quit that. Well, I stopped opening slots, but I didn't quit the company. I kept my certification and my contract and all that. And then it's been a few years, and I just decided to open some slots over the weekend, and I got some bookings. And it was so fun. I'm telling you, it was a blast. And it reminded me how much I love the kids. I mean, they're just so amazing. So I taught a few trials, which trials are people that want to try the company. They're just trying it out, and you just kind of work with them and have a good time, and they might sign up. And then you also can do regular lessons. So I had a mishmash because I had a level 6, I believe it was, with a 14-year-old girl, and it was so awesome. She did not want to stop talking. We talked about animals, adaptations, and she told me about her pet turtle. It was a lot of fun, and she did not want to say goodbye. And it was funny because before I started, I was like, I hope she doesn't show up. I hope she doesn't show up. Isn't that bad? But she did show up, and then it was like, oh my gosh, that was so much fun, and I want to do that again. So I did open some more slots. I have a friend that's teaching with them, and she does a lot of classes with them, and she has kept up with it, so that's really good. So I think they are doing bookings now, but it might take time to get established again, as it did at the beginning of the um, program when some of us first started. It's teaching online, and it's teaching children in China how to speak English. And children in China, they learn how to speak English, but they take English class, and they don't always get the Native American accent. So they speak English, but it's with their Chinese accent. And so the younger they are to start with English, the better their diction is. And in order to work for this company, we had to be certified with the TESOL. You have to certify online for that. You have to have a 4-year college degree to teach with them. They don't pay much money, so that's the problem. They don't really pay much. So I do teach in person, and my kids go to school where I am teaching right now. And so that's where we're headed right now. And it's a little bit of a drive, so it does cost me money and gas to get there. And but it's a commitment that I have to my kids to get this done. And I have my 13th child will graduate next year. So those are my goals and plans, and it is a beautiful New Hampshire day. Lots of cars on the road today. Yesterday, it didn't seem like there was as much traffic, but it's a little more congested today. Maybe it's the time of day. Just a little bit later than I was, I think, yesterday. We'll see. Yeah, so this is my last full week of school, and next week we will have Memorial Day, and then we will have 3 days of exams, and then half day on Friday. And then that's it for the school year. So we're getting it done. We're at the end of our classes and looking to improve things for next year. I will be teaching math. I think I'm going to be just teaching high school. So I won't be teaching seventh and eighth grade next year. I will be teaching only high school classes. And I taught Algebra 1 and geometry and might be doing consumer math next year. I'm not exactly sure, depends on what everybody signs up for. So we're going to make plans for that. Now, with geometry, I have a textbook, okay? We don't do things online. We have a textbook and we do proofs and things like that. And I have done a few different things during the year, and I've had a problem with, having the students taking notes and what they should write down, and it's been quite a process. And so I want to prepare better for next year. I tried a few different methods this year to see what would work, and I have some ideas, but geometry is a really hard class to teach because if the students don't read and really think about the material, you can't make it happen for them. So it's a challenge to help them to grasp the material so that they can go ahead and do proofs and all that. So I've been actually looking online with YouTube. There's people that talk about teaching on YouTube, and even on TikTok, there's people there that give teaching tips for math, and so I've been watching some of that. So that's really helpful. There are a lot of resources available for anything that you want these days. That's what I tell my students. Like, you can learn anything these days. You have no excuse. Other than maybe time. Sometimes kids nowadays, their time is so taken up, like between their activities, and then when they're not doing activities, they're doing games or just filling in their time. When I was a kid, we would read books. We would go up in our room and read a book or play a game or go ride my bike to my friend's house. And I'd like to see kids doing more of that. But then also when you have schoolwork, sitting down and doing your work quietly at your kitchen table. Do kids do that anymore? I think some do, but I think it's less and less. So it's strategies. That's what I'm looking for. Strategies, because I tell my students, learning is like going to the gym. Like when you go to the gym, you don't just sit in a recliner and watch someone else work out. Or you don't watch TV and watch someone else work out. You can do that, but you're not going to get strong yourself. You have to get in there. You have to do it. So doing your math homework and working together in that is like mental exercise. And it's necessary. It's necessary for everyone, whether we have internet or not. You need to work your brain so that you can be successful and so that you can be ready for whatever comes your way in the future. It's not about, am I going to use this someday? That's always the big issue. Am I going to use this someday? Of course, we want to teach things that are practical, but we also want to exercise our brain, because that exercise will prepare you for the next thing, whatever it is that you need to do or learn. And people don't really look at your brain that way. They look at it like it's, something that you fill up. If I take this information, I put it in, my brain is going to get full of stuff and I won't be able to fit any more in. Your brain isn't like that. It's more like a muscle that you're going to work it. And the more you work it, the more you can do, the more things you can do, the more things you can think about. I think as a Christian, it's kind of cool that God says that you should memorize his word. So when we memorize the Bible, that is not only, that's going to help us in many ways. It's going to help us to know who God is and know his word. It's going to help us to um, know how to live, how we should think, how we should behave. And it's also healthy for our brain. It's like vitamins for your brain. The more you memorize his word and the more you think about who God is and what his words say and you meditate, then that's like vitamins for your brain, literally, physically. I remember as a young person, I was saved as a young person, and I did memorize my multiplication tables. But I didn't do a lot of memorizing in school. I didn't memorize poems. I didn't memorize really anything. And when I got to Christian school in ninth grade, we did a lot of memorizing. I had to memorize 20 vocabulary words per week. I had to learn lots of verses for my Bible classes. I had to learn verses for French classes. I had to say back a bunch of verses in French to my French teacher. And what else did we do? History, we memorized a lot. Every single class, we had a lot of memory work. And I could tell the more I memorized, the better I got at it. And before that, I never really memorized much. So I know that in my own life, it really worked to help me to learn. And so I just think that's really cool that God gives us something to do, and it's good for us in many ways, more ways than one. Even physically, it's good for us. And that reminds me of I have a shofar, I have it in the back seat. The shofar is a horn that God wants his people to blow different times in the Bible. And I haven't done an extensive study as to the exact times that he used it. I think I should go back and do that. But I did look up the shofar and some history about it. And what it's used for is like during battles or during any kind of conflict. It was kind of calling out to God, or it's God's way of telling his people to call out to him, like with strength, with noise, and with commanding, just like, so me and my friends, we go to the beach and we blow the shofar. And, it's in the Bible. People are doing it. And so we can do it now. And I also looked it up, and it was the information that I was reading was saying that when you blow the shofar, it's good for your lungs. Like it clears your lungs. So not only is it a symbol of calling out to God, a symbol of, battle, like spiritual battle, physical battle, it's also good for your health. So in another way, God commands his people to do something, and it's good for them in many ways. And so even today, when you blow the shofar, it is good for your health. So when I go to the beach and we breathe in the fresh air, and we pray and we call out to God, we play music, we blow the shofar, it's just such a big spiritual refreshment, and strengthening. And just, I can't wait to do it once school is out, because usually we go on Friday mornings. We'll go early and we can park right there by the beach. I think it's from 7 to 8. I don't know if it changed since it's summertime. It might be up until 7. But we can park for free, but normally it would be like $20 to park that close. And in the summer, in the prime time, it is majorly packed. Like that beach is so full of people, you can't even find a place to put your towel. So it's nice to go in the morning when there's hardly anyone there and you can just do your thing. And we just do it. We play the music. We pray out loud. We wave a flag, we talk to the Lord, we talk to each other, we blow the shofar, and we just have a good time. It's very refreshing and very spiritually enriching, and I love it. So that's another example of how God gives us something to do and it's good for us, you know? Or we can sit around and do what people tell us to do. Drink some Red Bull, you know, get yourself a heart attack. Hate that stuff. There's so many products in this world that are killing us, and people just keep drinking them, eating them, and, you know, they know it's bad for them, but they keep doing it. And it's, you know, it's kind of sad. Or we can look to the Lord and we can say, hey, what do you want us to do? And I think, I don't know, I like to think that our prayers are holding back some pretty bad stuff. I think God's listening to us, you know, when he said to Lot, you know, if you could find 10 people, I will save the city. Couldn't find any. So he had to run for his life. But, you know, I think we have more than 10 people in our country. I think we have, only God knows the hearts of people, but I know there's a lot of people praying, a lot of people calling out to God, asking him for help. And I know there's a lot of bad stuff happening, and I know it could be worse. So I'm thankful for the opportunities that we have. Like, I have to drive 40 minutes to school, but at least I'm free to go to the school. I do have the freedom to do that. You know, some countries you can't choose what school you want to go to. So we're doing that. So anyway, thank you for paying attention and thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Good to see you, Kelly. Thank you for watching. And we are headed to school today, and it's been like Spirit Week, actually. I might put some pictures up of Spirit Week. I think it's going to be a fun day. I think it's dressed like your favorite character day or something. I did not participate because I don't really have a favorite character that I can think of. So I'm just being myself today. I think we are doing Red, White, and Blue Day, so I will participate in that because I like red, white, and blue stuff, and I have red, white, and blue. But last week was fun for Teacher Appreciation Week. We dressed up for the teachers, and we had a good week together with that. We had our little treats that we were given from our leadership and everything, so it was a lot of fun. And that's it. So I just wanted to say hello and thank you for coming to my channel. I really appreciate it. And Thursday this week, I will be going to the State House, and I am still kind of new, even though I've almost done with one season of voting. It's been very interesting. And one thing that's hard to get used to is all the numbers of the bills. And okay, this bill is this, and that means this. And I don't always know which number goes to which bill, but we do get a list. Like when we're going to be going in to vote, we get a list of the bills that we'll be voting on. We can get that ahead of time. We can, you know, read them over. We can talk to people, ask them what they think about it, and then we can kind of get an understanding so that we know what we're doing. So it's not like you just get there and you have no idea what you're voting on. And it's been very interesting listening to the speeches and getting to know the whole process and getting to know the people that work there and how it all goes together. So we have some bills, a lot of bills that the House of Representatives has voted on, and then we sent it to the Senate, and the Senate reviews all of those things, and then if they pass it, then it will go to the governor. So far the governor has signed some bills. There are some major ones still yet to be signed. One of the big ones is the Education Freedom Account, which has been in existence for about, I think, 3 years, maybe 4 years. And that is just money that is given to the parent to spend on the child's behalf on their education. And they want to improve that by eventually allowing it for everyone. Right now, it has an income cap. So it's only for people with a certain income and below. So they want to kind of up that income limit, and eventually they want to just give it to whoever does not have. Oh, Cybertruck. Yep, went across the intersection. So yeah, so the Education Freedom Account is a big one that they're working on, and that is sort of believe that the governor will put that through because that is kind of something she has spoken about. And in New Hampshire, it is, I believe it's the only one of its kind in the entire country. And it's a good example of how to do it. They put the money into an account, and then if you want to spend it on something educational, you can either look on the portal and you can order it right from there, or your school, like if your school has something that you want to pay for at the school, you can give them the money. They can give you like a invoice or something. They give you a bill and you pay it through directly to the school. So you could just give all of the money to the school, or you could buy items with it, but it all has to be approved. Like you can't just take the money and go buy groceries or gas. I wish I could put it toward my gas because I spend a lot of money in gas. But yeah, so we're headed to school, and yeah, so Thursday we'll be going to the State House, and that will be it for May. And then we'll be done with school, and then in June I'll be going every Thursday in June. So this has been a very interesting year. Learned a lot this year, done a lot, learned a lot, participated a lot, and I'm kind of tired right now. Last night we had a library trustee meeting. That's another thing that I'm involved in, and that was interesting. That's a whole another kettle of fish, so they say. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. I hope you have a great day. Bye.